Hello, hello, hello. So today we are reading chapter 3 and 4 of Hello Kitty The Makeover Party, which I thought this book was perfect considering we do so much makeup on this channel. So, chapter 3 Lessons in Football. 2 days later, Hello Kitty stood in the park waiting for Tammy and Fifi to arrive. Dear Daniel had come home from his trip, and the three girls had all agreed to come and watch his football practice. His team had just one game left of the season. Sorry, let me bring it closer. Of the season, so it was on an important practice. Hello Kitty hadn't really spoken to Fifi and Tammy since the disastrous makeover party, but had decided to cook a batch of chocolate cupcakes to try and make this day far more fun. She heard her name being shouted and looked around to see the girls calling to her from the other end of the pitch. Hello Kitty felt a wave of relief flooded through her as soon as she saw them waving and smiling, and it seemed as though that they had had the same idea as her, making the football watching enjoyable. Fifi was clutching a blanket and cushions, and Tammy was carrying a big bottle filled with fruit punch and some plastic glasses. As they ran to meet each other, it was as if the makeover party had never happened. Laughing and talking, they spread out on the blanket and plonked themselves down on the grass. Hello Kitty handed round the cakes and then pointed over at the playing field where dear Daniel was coming on the pitch. Tammy, twins' brother, Timmy, was with him, along with a group of other boys. They were running and stopping, warming up and dribbling the ball between them. When they all reached the middle of the pitch, the football coach handed out a batch of blue bibs and a batch of red bibs and divided them into teams. Dear Daniel was in a red bib and had been put in the middle of the pitch, which Hello Kitty knew meant he was supposed to score goals. Then there was a line of boys behind him, and Timmy was with another group of 3 players nearer the goal. He was meant to defend. The coach blew the whistle and the game started. It was only a practice match, but each side obviously wanted to do their best. Hello Kitty shouted out dear Daniel's name as he raced forward and passed the ball to another member of his team. Now that boy was racing up the pitch, the boys on the other side were tackling him, and he lost the ball. While the boys ran up and down the field, Hello Kitty turned back to Tammy and Fifi. She offered them another cupcake and asked what they had been up to over the last couple of days. Fifi had been practicing her ice skating skills a lot, whereas Tammy had been on a trip to the seaside with Timmy and their parents. It sounded a lot of fun. A loud voice from the pitch behind her made Hello Kitty turn back to watch the match. It was the coach. He was looking very cross and jumping up and down. Whatever could have happened? Hello Kitty looked more closely at the game and thought she knew what the matter was. Instead of the boys being spread out across the pitch, the red team was bunched up at the end all huddled over the goal. Timmy was in the middle of it too, but wasn't he meant to be defending his own goal? Goal the blue team had scored. The coach blew his whistle and called both teams over to talk to him in a group. Hello Kitty gave a nervous little thumbs up to dear Daniel. The coach started talking loudly, looking at each of the boys in turn. He explained that he knew that they all wanted to impress him, but he picked for the team, but it had made them stop working together, and now he wanted them to go back onto the pitch and have another go. And this time he wanted them to all pull together. Go team! Hello Kitty watched the boys all spread out. This time they all kept to their places on the pitch and passed nicely to each other. Sorry guys, this one's difficult. They really wanted to work as a team, and when the red team scored a goal, the coach cheered loudly and smiled. Hello Kitty watched thoughtfully. The boys were so much better at football when they worked together. It made her start to think again about the makeover party. She and Fifi and Tammy should have been working as a team. Maybe they could have another go at making their pampering potions. A day where they could share the ingredients and share their ideas and come up with just one product between them for the competition. Fifi and Tammy nudged Hello Kitty as they wanted to know what she was thinking about, as she wasn't watching the match at all anymore. She smiled and told them hip hip hooray. They both thought it was a great idea, and the friends all beamed at each other. They couldn't wait to get started. Chapter 4, Heavenly Hair. I think I'm going to read it like this and I'll show you the pages. Hello Kitty opened her door the next day with a big smile. She had a good feeling about today. Fifi and Tammy came hurrying in. They had apologised to dear Daniel that they wouldn't be coming along to watch his last match, but he didn't mind. He would come and join them after the match to let them know how it had gone. The first thing for the girls to do was to decide what product they were going to make for the competition. They discussed it and decided that a lovely smelling hair treatment would be perfect, but what would be in it? Fifi thought that it should contain ingredients that would make your hair soft. They all agreed that and decided that avocado and a little bit of honey would be the perfect ingredients. Tammy said the treatment should also make your hair shine. She had read that olive oil was good for that, so that should go in, but not too much or it might make their hair greasy. Hello Kitty thought that the most important bit was for it to smell totally yummy and fresh. They all agreed that lemon and rosemary scent that Fifi had made as a perfume would be just right. Now all they had to do was work together to mix it up. They mashed up the avocado and stirred in 1 spoonful of honey and 2 spoonfuls of olive oil. Then they added some lemon juice and some chopped up rosemary leaves and added those. They stirred it all up, each taking a turn until it was as smooth as they could get it. That was it. Their hair treatment was finished and now they should try it out. They quickly made their way upstairs to Hello Kitty's bathroom and took it in turns to wash their hair over the bath. Once they were finished, they all rubbed the treatment into their hair. Fifi suggested that they leave it on for 10 minutes. That was what her mum did when she was using a hair treatment. They wrapped their hair up in towels and came back down. Mama White smiled when she saw them and gave them each a lollipop to have as they waited for the treatment to sink in. After 10 minutes, they washed it off and dried their hair. Their hair looked amazing, and not only did it feel silky and look shiny, but it smelled good too. Even better, they had made the product together. Now all they had to do was decide what to call it. Fifi thought it should be something about how silky and smooth it was. Kind of dreamy. Tammy thought it should be something to suggest how fruity and fresh it was, but in the end they all agreed that it should just be called Heavenly Hair. Stupid, they grinned at each other. And Mama White put her head through the door. They should write out their recipe and post it in the competition straight away. But first they wanted to put some new bows and hair slides into their super shiny and soft hair. Hello Kitty got out her box of clips and bows. As soon as they were sorting through them and trying them on, Hello Kitty wanted to be red day for her. So she put on a red bow with red butterflies on it. Fifi was feeling in a more of a purple mood, so she decided to wear a big purple headband with flowers on it. Whereas Tammy, well, Tammy couldn't decide and had gone for a mixture of blue, purple, and pink hair clips. Just at that moment, the doorbell rang. The three friends looked at each other. Dear Daniel, they had been so busy with their hair treatment they had completely forgotten about his football match. How had it gone? They had all raced down to find out. Dear Daniel stepped into the house with a big grin on his face. His team had won 3 goals to 0. They had all pulled together and played as a team, and it had really worked. Hooray! Hello Kitty looked at her friends and grinned. Good news like that called for a group hug. Not only that, but dear Daniel had something else exciting to tell them. His parents were outside waiting in the car. They were going to take all of the friendship club to the ice cream parlor to celebrate. They could have whatever they wanted. Now all that they needed to decide was what they would actually choose. Chocolate or strawberry, or they tumbled out of the car laughing. What a great day.